Hey guys, so I hope you all had a great Monday, first day on the market from the weekend, and everything's gonna be short. But I wanted to bring this up because it came up again where anytime I'm doing student sessions, it's the same question that's usually asked: how can I find stocks? Where do I go looking? Sometimes I'm gonna tell you, go to the heat map, and the heat map will show you different sectors, different companies in those sectors. Some you've heard, some you may not have heard of. Research is one of the biggest ones that I like to say, because I like to look at research as an asset in our trading and our investing, because the deeper we research, the more gems we may find. We've been seeing the AI headlines: Nvidia, AMD, OpenAI, even Walmart, Apple, Google, Meta. AI headline after AI headline. And Nvidia, for the most part, has been just going crazy with their partnerships and their investment, really just making their company, just the top dog in all of this. And they hit a $5 trillion market cap, right? The first company to do so. But that's not who I want to talk about. Like I always say, when you do the research and when you understand what is even making a lot of the stuff that's going on right now possible in this AI revolution that we are fast tracking ourselves into, you will find the underdog or the big dog. And in this case, the big dog is TSMC, Tier 1 Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. You may have heard of them, or you may have heard of them as TSM. However, have you ever taken the time to figure out why their name will continuously come up when we're talking about AI, when we're talking about Nvidia, when we're talking about some of the biggest companies in the world designing chips, needing semiconductors, and all of these things to facilitate these massive or large-scale AI projects that they're attempting to build out. And TSM is the one making it possible. So I talked a little bit about how what was it, AWS, Amazon, one of their data centers went down, right? And a lot of companies were down: Fortnite, Roblox, banking apps, Robinhood, OnlyFans. A lot of companies were down because there are so many companies that is relying on Amazon and their data centers under that AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. And for the first time, a lot of people just now figuring out what that was, that Amazon is more than a marketplace, right? And a lot of companies rely on them. This is the exact same thing for TSM. Without TSM, this massive drive into this AI space, the investments, this heavy demand for chips and semiconductors, data centers, AI hardware, all of the companies that we know, Nvidia for the most part, without TSM, Nvidia chips would not be possible. Without Nvidia, them being able to provide the chips at such a massive demand to the other Mag 7 companies that do rely on them and others, it would not be possible. And so we look at this as a ripple effect. Imagine if TSM goes down. Let's just say anything happens, right? They just go down, go away, disappear, whatever. Use your imagination. Nvidia would not be able to supply the chips to all of the companies that they have on their clients list. And without that, it will slow this AI demand that they have. The AI projects will just stop, because likely they're not getting any chips. Nvidia isn't able to provide the chips because TSM is not providing it, or something happening and they're not able to do it. Now, you might be saying, just go to somebody else. Here's the thing. TSM pretty much provides and manufactures over 90% of all chips in the AI space. And they are the only ones who have the capacity to even do it. So without them, what happens to everybody else under that umbrella? They have to cease their AI operations at some point, because more likely they'll have to scramble to find solutions. And if the one company that's allowing their AI projects to even be possible go under, disappear, something happen, this is going to be a very hard thing to even scramble to solve, because if they're the only ones that can do it, it's going to be pretty hard trying to find somebody else. Or quality is not the same, the speed is not the same, the efficiency is not the same. nothing's the same. So it will really cause a major downturn in the tech space. Now, they have a $1.5 trillion market cap. Nvidia, on the other hand, has a $5 trillion market cap. And you may think just because one has a massive market cap over the other that Nvidia is the big dog. Not really, because Nvidia relies on TSM. All of the other big major companies in the AI space relies on Nvidia. Everybody is relying on one another. So no one really here is the top dog, but technically TSM will be at the top of the board because they're the ones making it possible for all of this demand to even be met. But when you think about Apple, their iPhones, their Mac processor, Apple Silicon, think TSM. When you think Tesla and their self-driving car or their robo-taxi hardware, think TSM. When you think Nvidia, TSM. AMD's gaming and their data center, TSM makes all of those things possible. So when you think about all of this AI infrastructure that's being built, all of these data centers, all of these hyperscale supercomputers and data centers, think TSM, because without them, this entire AI revolution will not even be possible. And this is why I want you to keep them on your radar and add them, not just for trading, but for long-term investing. They're one of the ones that I add to my list where I invest at least a minimum of $100 every single week into them. Because when you are on the back end and you're the backbone of an entire sector that's beginning to really grow and the demand is growing, trillions of dollars are being pumped into it, and companies are really beginning to prioritize this particular space. The backbone of that is the main one that we should be focusing on, because I talk a lot about following the money, and all of the money is being pumped into TSM to meet the AI demand that we are growing quicker and quicker to by the day. As AI grow, as EVs grow, as smart computers grow, as supercomputers, even the U.S. Department of Defense is getting into AI and using supercomputers, where OpenAI is partnering with the Pentagon. All of this grows, as all of this grows, we will see TSM grow, because their order book is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as their revenue grows, their profit grows, their margin grows, so will their stock, and so will the demand for their stock. And so this is definitely one that we keep on our radar by simply following the money. Take the time, hit the charts, do a little bit of research, get familiar with TSM so that you can genuinely see how everything connects back to them as we get deeper into this AI, as the investments get larger. So that way you can have and make the informed decision to whether or not you want to add it to your portfolio. But whether you don't, that's cool. Keep your eye on it though. If you're going to be trading it, this is definitely a great one to day trade, as well as holding for an extended period of time. So that's all. I just wanted to put this one on your radar. It's been on my eyes for a couple of years now. They've been on the market since the 90s, so they're not some new player to the game. They've been around, but they've been in the back end, and the back end is usually where we're not looking. That's all I have for you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.